Take a slow breath in and let it go. Allow your body to settle exactly where it is. There is nothing you need to do now, nowhere you need to be. Tonight, you are invited into an ancient world, a world older than memory, older than fear, older than time itself. This is the story of Hypnos, the gentle god of sleep. Not the kind of sleep that rushes in, and not the kind that must be forced, but the quiet, patient sleep that arrives only when the world grows still enough to welcome it. In the myths of ancient Greece, Hypnos was not loud or powerful in the way other gods were. He did not command storms, or shape mountains, or demand worship. Instead, he offered rest. He moved softly through the night, calming gods and mortals alike, easing troubled minds, and guiding the world into peace. Even Zeus, even the immortals, could not resist his touch. As this story unfolds, you will travel through shadowed valleys, silent palaces, and dream-filled realms where time slows and fear fades. You will meet Nyx, the goddess of night. Morpheus, shaper of dreams, and the quiet forces that guide sleep into every living mind. This is not a story meant to be followed closely. You do not need to remember names or hold on to details. Simply listen. Let the words drift past you like distant waves, like a gentle breeze in the dark. If sleep comes, let it come. If your mind wanders, that is perfectly fine. This story will continue whether you are awake or asleep, doing its quiet work either way. So settle in now. Lower the weight of the day. Let your breathing slow naturally. The night is here. Sleep is near. And Hypnos is watching. Welcome to the eternal calm of sleep. The world grows quiet, the day does not end all at once. It softens. Sounds begin to fall away, one by one, like leaves settling gently to the ground. The sharper edges of the world lose their shape, and what remains is quieter, slower, and far less demanding. Somewhere beyond your awareness, the sky deepens. Light fades without urgency. There is no signal, no announcement, only a gradual dimming, as though the world itself has decided it has done enough for now. The air grows still. Even movement seems to pause, resting in place. You do not need to follow the day any further. It continues on its own, without your attention. Breathing becomes easier when there is nothing left to listen for. Nothing left to prepare for. Nothing left to finish. Each breath arrives gently and leaves just as gently. There is no need to change it. No need to guide it. It already knows what to do. The body begins to recognize this moment, this familiar turning toward rest. Muscles soften without instruction. The face relaxes. The space behind the eyes grows quiet. Thoughts may still drift through, slowly now, like clouds crossing a wide night sky. There is no reason to follow them. They will pass on their own. The world outside continues to grow quieter. Doors close. Lights dim. Footsteps fade into memory. Even distance itself seems to stretch, placing everything far away and unimportant. Somewhere, far beyond where you are, waves reach the shore and withdraw again. Forests stand motionless, listening only to themselves. Streets empty. Windows darken. The world is learning how to sleep. You do not need to do anything to join it. Time loosens its grip. Minutes no longer matter. There is only this gentle unfolding, the slow, natural turning toward night. In this quiet, nothing is required of you. There are no expectations here. No direction to move in. No effort to make. Rest is not something to achieve. It is something that arrives when everything else steps aside. The darkness does not press in. It simply settles, like a blanket laid carefully over the world. With every breath, the noise of the day moves further away. With every moment, the space around you grows softer, wider, and calmer. This is the beginning, not of a story filled with action or urgency, but of a long, gentle descent into stillness. The world has begun to grow quiet, and you are safe to grow quiet with it. The birth of Hypnos before the world learned how to move, before the sky knew where to place the stars, there was a deep and patient quiet. It was not emptiness, and it was not darkness. It was a calm that held everything gently, without effort or urgency. In that stillness, nothing needed to happen, and nothing was waiting to begin. From this quiet balance, Hypnos came into being. There was no sudden moment of arrival. No sound marked his presence. Sleep does not enter with force. It gathers softly, settling in when everything else grows tired of motion. Hypnos emerged as rest itself, a natural counterbalance to wakefulness. Where awareness sharpened, he softened it. Where motion continued too long, he eased it into stillness. He did not take shape in the way other forces did. There was no single form to recognize, no boundary to define him. Hypnos was a presence, a gentle influence that moved through the world like a slow breath. As he drifted through the early world, change followed quietly behind him. Movement slowed. Sound softened. The endless forward motion of creation began, for the first time, to pause. The waters learned how to become calm. Their restless motion eased, allowing smooth surfaces to reflect the deep sky above. Winds that had traveled endlessly found a rhythm, slowing into long, steady breaths across the land. Mountains stood in silence, content to remain exactly where they were. They did not need to grow or shift. They simply rested beneath the quiet sky. Hypnos did not command these changes. He did not shape the world through instruction or power. Stillness followed him naturally, the way warmth follows the body when it finally relaxes. In those early times, sleep was not yet separate from waking. It flowed gently through all things. There were no clear boundaries, no sharp divisions. Awareness and rest moved together, each giving way to the other without resistance. Hypnos belonged to this flow. He moved where he was needed, without direction or intention. Wherever the world grew restless, he softened it. Wherever motion became endless, he introduced pause. There was comfort in his presence. A quiet assurance that nothing needed to remain alert forever. As living beings slowly came into existence, they too felt this gentle influence. Their bodies learned how to grow heavy with rest. Their minds learned how to release the day, even without understanding why. They followed the natural pull towards stillness. Sleep became a return, a way back to balance. Hypnos watched over this unfolding without urgency. He did not hurry the world into rest, nor did he delay it. He simply remained, steady and patient, allowing sleep to arrive when the time was right. In this patient presence, night began to take shape. Not as something to be feared, but as a companion to the day. A time when the world could turn inward, closing its eyes without worry. Darkness settled gently. It did not press or overwhelm. It rested quietly, allowing everything beneath it to soften. Hypnos belonged to this inward turning. He was not distant or unreachable. He was close, always present in the slowing of breath, in the heaviness of limbs, in the moment when thoughts begin to drift without direction. As ages passed, the world grew more complex. Time learned how to move forward. Life learned how to hurry. But Hypnos remained unchanged. He continued his quiet work, unseen and uncelebrated, guiding awareness toward rest. He understood that sleep cannot be forced, that it arrives only when it feels safe to do so. And so he waited. The presence of Hypnos whispered softly to the world, not in words, but in feeling, that it was safe to let go. Safe to loosen control. Safe to stop striving, even for a little while. The world listened. Rhythms formed. Wakefulness and rest began to take turns. Days grew brighter because nights were gentle. Movement gained meaning because stillness existed alongside it. Hypnos settled into this rhythm, not as a ruler, but as a guardian. Not above the world, but woven quietly into it. He did not seek attention. He did not demand devotion. Sleep rarely asks to be noticed. Even now, his presence remains. It is felt in the quiet moments before rest, in the gentle pull towards stillness, in the slow exhale that signals the body's readiness to release the day. Hypnos does not come from elsewhere. He has always been here. Born from stillness, living within it, and returning to it again and again. As the world continues to turn, as days rise and fall, his quiet influence remains steady and patient. And as you rest here, listening, breathing slowly, you are touching that same ancient calm, the gentle presence that has guided the world into sleep since the very beginning. Nyx, goddess of night before night, was something the world could recognize. Before darkness carried meaning or shape, there was Nyx. She did not arrive suddenly. She did not announce herself. Night followed her quietly, as though it had always known where to go. Nyx was not born of noise or movement. She emerged from the same ancient stillness that gave shape to rest itself. Where light once lingered too long, she softened it. Where the world grew tired of seeing, she offered gentle darkness. She did not take light away. She wrapped it. Where Nyx moved, the world felt held. Sharp edges faded. Distances seemed less important. The sky deepened slowly, color by color, until it became wide and calm once more. Stars did not appear all at once. They arrived patiently, one by one, like quiet companions settling into place. Under Nyx's presence, the world exhaled. Mountains stood silently beneath the darkened sky, no longer reaching, no longer shifting. Waters eased their restless motion, becoming smooth and reflective. Even the air seemed to slow, moving gently, as if it had learned how to rest. Nyx did not command the night. She embodied it. She understood that darkness should never overwhelm. It should comfort. It should protect. In her presence, the night became a place where nothing needed to be proven, and nothing needed to be held together. The world learned this slowly. Voices softened. Paths emptied. Movements became smaller, more deliberate. Under NYX's watch, the world turned inward, not out of fear, but out of trust. Darkness no longer meant the unknown. It became a space of safety, a place where effort could dissolve. It was within this gentle darkness that Hypnos found his place beside her. He moved quietly in her wake, not as a shadow, but as a companion. Where NYX covered the world in calm night, Hypnos guided it toward rest. Together, they shaped the rhythm of sleep. NYX brought stillness to the world. Hypnos brought stillness to the mind. They did not speak, yet their understanding was complete. Night and sleep were not separate forces. They flowed together, blending gently, allowing awareness to soften without resistance. As NYX continued her slow passage across the sky, the world learned how to trust the dark completely. Creatures learned when to pause. The body learned when to release. The mind learned that it did not need to remain alert. Under NYX's embrace, the night became familiar. It did not press in. It did not demand attention. It simply existed, calm and steady, allowing everything beneath it to settle. Time itself seemed to loosen. Moments stretched gently. The urgency of the day faded, replaced by a quiet patience that asked nothing in return. NYX did not hurry the night. She allowed it to deepen slowly, layer by layer. Dusk became a soft crossing rather than a boundary. Darkness unfolded at a pace that invited rest. Hypnos moved within this space, guided by NYX's calm presence. Together, they led the world into deeper quiet, the kind that exists beneath thought, beneath awareness. Where NYX softened the sky, Hypnos softened the breath. Where NYX dimmed the world, Hypnos dimmed the mind. They worked without effort, without force, allowing rest to arrive naturally. NYX remained constant through all change. While the world grew louder, while time learned how to hurry, she continued her silent watch. She did not seek attention. She did not ask to be remembered. She simply returned each night. Even now, her presence can be felt in the moments when light begins to fade. In the quiet pause before evening fully arrives. In the gentle dimming of the world around you. NYX is there when sounds soften. She is there when the sky deepens. She is there when the day loosens its grip. And as you rest here, breathing slowly, listening gently, you are within her embrace. The night does not ask anything of you. It does not require effort. It does not demand awareness. It only offers stillness. A wide, quiet space where nothing needs to be done and nothing needs to be held. NYX remains, calm and patient, guiding the world through darkness with care. And beside her, Hypnos waits, ready to lead you deeper into rest when you are ready to follow. There is no rush. Night has all the time it needs. The silent cave of sleep beyond the reach of the waking world, beyond the places shaped by sound and motion, there exists a quiet space where rest gathers naturally. It is not hidden. It is simply unnoticed by those who are not yet ready to rest. This is the silent cave of sleep. The cave does not open suddenly. There is no doorway to pass through, no threshold to cross. It reveals itself gradually, as awareness softens and the need to remain alert fades away. The path leading toward it is gentle and unmarked. Each step along it feels lighter than the one before. The air grows cooler, calmer, carrying no urgency and no demand. Sound fades first. Not all at once, but softly, as though the world has decided to lower its voice. Echoes dissolve. Distances shrink. What remains is a quiet so deep it feels comforting rather than empty. Light follows. It does not disappear. It dims, settling into a soft glow that rests easily on the eyes. Shadows move slowly along smooth stone, never sharp, never unsettling. The cave itself is vast, though it never feels overwhelming. Its walls are shaped by time, smoothed by centuries of stillness. They hold the quiet carefully, allowing it to deepen without pressing in. Within this space, the world feels far away. Here, nothing rushes forward. Nothing pulls at your attention. The cave does not expect you to do anything, or to become anything more than you already are. The air inside moves slowly, like a steady breath. In and out. Gentle and unchanging. Each breath feels supported, as though the space itself is breathing with you. Thoughts begin to loosen. They do not vanish. They drift, becoming softer and less defined. Their edges blur, until they no longer ask to be followed. The body responds naturally to this quiet. Muscles release their hold. The jaw softens. The shoulders settle. There is no instruction required. Rest knows how to arrive when it feels safe. Deep within the cave, Hypnos resides. He is not separate from the stillness. He is woven into it. His presence is felt as a gentle heaviness, a comforting pull toward rest. There is no need to see him clearly. Sleep does not require form. The cave responds to his presence. The quiet deepens. The air grows warmer. Time stretches until it no longer feels measured. Here, the mind no longer needs to keep watch. Awareness turns inward, folding gently back on itself. Outside the cave, the world continues its motion. Stars cross the sky. Winds move through distant forests. Waves reach the shore and return again. But none of that reaches this place. The cave holds you away from it all, offering a pause that asks for nothing in return. Within these stone walls, there is no past to remember and no future to prepare for. There is only this moment, unfolding slowly, without effort. Hypnos remains close, not as a figure to observe, but as a presence to feel. A quiet assurance that rest is natural and safe. The cave itself seems to listen. It listens to your breathing. It listens to the slow rhythm of rest settling in. With each moment, the silence grows deeper, richer, more complete. Words become less necessary. Awareness begins to float. This is not a place of isolation. It is a place of shelter. The cave does not trap. It cradles. As rest deepens, the boundaries of the space begin to soften. Stone feels less solid. Distance feels less defined. Everything becomes lighter, more fluid. Here, sleep is not something you fall into. It is something that rises gently to meet you. Hypnos remains, patient and steady, allowing rest to arrive at its own pace. There is no urgency, no expectation. The cave will remain as long as it is needed. Quiet, still, unmoving. And as you settle deeper into this silence, the world grows distant and rest grows close. There is nowhere else to be. There is nothing else to do. Only this calm, unfolding quiet, held gently within the silent cave of sleep. The first dreams of humanity in the earliest nights of the world, when humanity was still learning how to rest, sleep arrived without images. It was deep and quiet, like still water beneath a dark sky. But slowly, gently, something new began to unfold. Within the calm brought by night, within the stillness guided by Hypnos, the first dreams began to form. They did not arrive suddenly. They gathered softly, like mist rising from the earth after dusk. At first, these dreams were simple. Shadows moved without meaning. Light shifted without shape. There was no story to follow, no emotion to hold. The mind was learning how to wander while the body remained still. In those early times, sleep was a place of rest alone. Dreaming was unfamiliar, uncertain, and delicate. Hypnos watched carefully as this new layer of sleep began to appear. Dreams were not yet filled with memory or desire. They were gentle echoes of the world, soft impressions left behind as awareness drifted inward. A flicker of firelight, the sound of water, the feeling of walking without weight. These first dreams did not demand attention. They passed through the sleeping mind quietly, leaving no trace behind. Humanity did not yet understand dreams. They were not questioned or interpreted. They were simply experienced, then forgotten. And this was how Hypnos intended it. Dreams, like sleep itself, were not meant to disturb rest. They were meant to accompany it, moving gently alongside stillness. As nights passed and rest became familiar, dreams grew slightly clearer. Images lingered a moment longer. Sensations carried a touch more warmth. Movement felt smoother, more fluid. Still, there was no urgency. The dreaming mind wandered without direction, guided only by calm curiosity. There were no fears here, no conflicts, no sudden awakenings. Dreams were soft pathways through the quiet of sleep. Hypnos allowed this gently unfolding process to continue without interference. He understood that the dreaming mind needed time to learn its own rhythm. He did not fill dreams with meaning. He did not shape them into stories. He simply allowed them to exist. Under his watch, dreams remained light and peaceful. They reflected the harmony of the world at rest. The sleeping mind drifted through familiar spaces, open fields, calm waters, quiet shelters, places without danger or demand. In these first dreams, humanity experienced movement. Without effort and awareness, without responsibility. Dreaming became a place of gentle freedom. NYX continued her steady watch over the night, wrapping the world in darkness while Hypnos guided minds inward. Together, they ensured that dreams remained soft, never overwhelming. The night held everything carefully. As generations passed, dreams grew richer, but their essence remained unchanged. They were not lessons or warnings. They were simple reflections, echoes of life softened by sleep. The dreaming mind began to recognize patterns. Familiar shapes returned. Gentle feelings lingered. But always, dreams remained secondary. The river of Lethe beyond the first dreams, beyond the gentle wandering of the sleeping mind, there flows a quiet river. It moves without sound, without urgency, without direction that can be measured. This is the river of Lethe. Its waters do not rush. They glide, smooth and unbroken, reflecting nothing clearly and yet holding everything gently within them. The surface remains calm, undisturbed by wind or current. The river does not cut through the land. The land rests around it. Along its banks, the air is soft and cool. Each breath feels lighter here, as though worries lose their weight the closer they come to the water. Lethe is not a river of loss. It is a river of release. It does not take anything by force. It simply allows what is ready to drift away. Memories do not disappear suddenly. They loosen. They soften. Their edges blur until they no longer press against awareness. The river flows through a wide, open valley where nothing is required to grow or change. There are no sharp stones along its edge. No sudden drops. Everything is smooth, shaped by time and stillness. Hypnos moves quietly beside the river. He does not guide you toward it, nor does he ask you to step closer. His presence is simply there, calm and steady, allowing the river to do its gentle work. As you rest near the water, the mind begins to settle even further. Thoughts that once felt heavy grow lighter. Concerns lose their urgency. The day releases its hold. The river listens without judgment. It carries no stories. It holds no expectations. Each ripple that moves across its surface is slow and soft, as though time itself has learned how to pause. You do not need to touch the water. You do not need to look into it. Simply being near the river is enough. The sound of Lethe is almost imperceptible, a deep, steady hush that seems to match the rhythm of your breathing. In and out. Slow and even. NYX's darkness rests gently over the valley, dimming everything without obscuring it. The stars above reflect faintly on the river's surface, stretching into long, quiet lines. Here, awareness drifts. The mind no longer reaches outward. It settles back, floating gently within itself. Memory becomes distant, like a shore seen from far away. Lethe does not erase who you are. It eases what no longer needs to be carried. The river understands that rest requires space. Space free from effort, free from remembering, free from planning. As you linger near the water, the boundaries between thoughts begin to dissolve. One moment blends into the next without distinction. Time feels wide and unimportant. Hypnos remains nearby, his presence a quiet reassurance. There is nothing to protect against here. Nothing to hold on to. The river flows on, steady and unchanging, carrying only what has already been released. Beyond the river, the land stretches into soft darkness, open and undemanding. There is no destination waiting. No place you need to reach. Rest deepens naturally in this space. Breathing slows. The body feels heavier. Awareness softens into a gentle haze. The river continues its endless, patient movement, not toward an end, but toward balance. Even as you drift deeper into rest, Lethe remains, flowing quietly beneath the night. Always present, always calm. It does not matter how long you stay near its banks. It does not matter how deeply you rest. The river asks nothing. As sleep settles further, words become less necessary. Images soften. Sensations fade into comfort. Hypnos watches silently, allowing the river to carry away the final edges of wakefulness. And as the night deepens, Lethe continues its gentle flow, easing the mind into quiet, guiding awareness into stillness. There is nothing to remember here. There is nothing to do. Only this calm, steady movement, the quiet river flowing endlessly through the heart of sleep. The fields of poppies beyond the quiet flow of the river, where memory loosens and thoughts grow light, the land opens into wide, peaceful fields. They stretch gently in every direction, unbroken and calm, resting beneath the deep night sky. These are the fields of poppies. There is no sudden change as you arrive here. The shift is soft, almost unnoticeable. The ground beneath you feels warm and steady, and the air carries a faint, comforting scent, subtle, never overwhelming. The poppies move slowly in the night air. Their motion is unhurried, like a slow breath passing across the land. Each stem bends gently, then returns to stillness. Nothing in these fields rushes or resists. The flowers glow faintly in the darkness, their color deep and muted, never bright. They do not call for attention. They simply exist, calm and steady, covering the land like a quiet blanket. Here, the world feels distant. The concerns of the waking day have no place among these fields. They fall away naturally, as though they were never meant to travel this far into rest. Hypnos is present here, though he remains unseen. His presence settles over the fields like a gentle weight, encouraging everything to slow even further. The air grows heavier in a comforting way, and awareness sinks deeper into the body. Each step through the poppies feels lighter than the last. Movement requires no effort. Even the idea of direction begins to fade. The fields do not lead anywhere. They do not need to. Rest is not something to reach. It is something to enter. The sound here is minimal, a soft hush created by the slow movement of petals and stems. It blends easily with your breathing, matching its rhythm, slowing it gently. In this space, the mind no longer holds onto thoughts. Ideas drift away before they can fully form. Awareness becomes smooth, uninterrupted. The poppies seem to respond to this deepening calm. Their motion slows further, until even their gentle sway becomes barely noticeable. The night sky above remains wide and patient. Stars hold their places without flickering. Darkness rests easily over the land. NYX's presence can still be felt here, a quiet covering that keeps everything safe and undisturbed. Under her watch, nothing intrudes. Nothing disturbs the silence. Hypnos works quietly within this stillness. He does not guide or direct. He allows rest to deepen on its own. The fields respond naturally, growing heavier with calm. As you remain here, the body grows more relaxed. Muscles release their final hold. The breath slows into a steady, even rhythm. Awareness drifts downward, sinking gently. There is no need to lie down. There is no need to close your eyes. Rest finds you wherever you are. The poppies do not fade. They remain steady and unchanged, forming a landscape of calm repetition. This familiarity allows the mind to let go completely. Nothing new appears. Nothing unexpected happens. This is a place where the mind can finally stop watching. Time loses meaning among these fields. Moments stretch, blend, and dissolve into one another. The idea of before and after no longer matters. Hypnos remains nearby, his presence steady and reassuring. He ensures that sleep stays deep and undisturbed. The fields continue to rest beneath the night sky, unchanging and calm. Their gentle stillness invites awareness to drift even further inward. Words become softer here. Thoughts grow quieter. Rest deepens naturally. You do not need to follow anything. You do not need to remember where you are. The fields of poppies hold everything gently, allowing sleep to settle completely. And as you drift deeper, the night remains wide and patient, carrying you effortlessly into rest. There is nothing else to do. Only this calm, steady stillness spreading quietly across the fields and through you. The gentle work of sleep does not arrive as an event. It arrives as a process. Quiet and patient, it works in the background, unnoticed, easing the world toward rest without effort or force. This is the gentle work of sleep. Nothing is asked of you here. There is no task to complete, no state to achieve. Sleep knows how to do its work on its own, the way the heart knows how to beat, or the breath knows how to move in and out. As night deepens, this work continues quietly. The body begins to let go of its vigilance. Muscles release the final traces of tension they have carried throughout the day. The jaw softens. The shoulders settle. Even the smallest movements grow unnecessary. Breathing finds a slow, steady rhythm. Each breath flows easily into the next, smooth and unbroken. There is no need to guide it. It has already found its pace. The mind, too, begins to rest. Thoughts lose their urgency. They no longer arrive with sharp edges or clear direction. Instead, they drift slowly, appearing and fading without meaning or weight. Sleep does not push these thoughts away. It allows them to dissolve naturally. Awareness turns inward, folding gently back on itself. The need to observe, to listen, to remain alert grows faint. This is not losing consciousness. It is releasing effort. The gentle work of sleep happens in layers. First, the outer world grows distant. Sounds soften. Sensations fade into comfort. The body feels heavier, supported by stillness. Then, the inner world quiets. Memories loosen. Plans dissolve. The constant movement of the mind slows until it barely stirs. Each layer settles without resistance. Hypnos remains present throughout this process, guiding it without instruction. His presence is not something to focus on. It is something to feel, a steady reassurance that rest is natural and safe. Sleep does not hurry. It understands that each part of the body, each part of the mind, releases in its own time. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is delayed. NYX's darkness continues to cover the world gently, protecting this quiet space. Under her watch, nothing intrudes. Nothing disturbs the slow unfolding of rest. The gentle work of sleep continues. The boundary between thought and sensation softens. Awareness becomes smooth, uninterrupted, free of edges. Time loses its shape. Moments blend together without distinction. The idea of before and after fades into irrelevance. Here, there is no need to remain present. Sleep holds everything now. Words begin to lose their meaning. Images blur. Even the sense of listening grows faint. The body rests deeply, fully supported. The mind drifts, unanchored, floating gently in calm. Hypnos does not need to remain active here. His work is already done. Sleep has taken over, steady and complete. The world continues beyond this space, but it no longer reaches you. You are held within a quiet depth where nothing changes and nothing needs to. The gentle work of sleep continues on its own, long after awareness has softened. And as the night carries on, this calm remains, unbroken, steady, and kind. There is nothing left to do. Sleep is already here. Hypnos and the mortal world. When the world of mortals first learned how to rest, it did not happen all at once. Sleep entered their lives quietly, the same way it had entered the world itself, gently, patiently, without demand. Hypnos did not reveal himself to humanity as a god to be feared or praised. He remained unseen, working softly in the spaces between waking moments. Mortals did not know his name at first. They only knew the feeling. They knew the heaviness in the limbs at night, the slow softening of thought, the calm that arrived when the day finally loosened its hold. They knew the relief of closing their eyes and letting the world fade. This was Hypnos at work. He moved through the mortal world without footsteps, passing through homes, fields, and quiet shelters as night settled in. Wherever fatigue gathered, he eased it. Wherever minds refused to rest, he waited patiently. Hypnos never forced sleep upon anyone. He understood that rest cannot be commanded. It must be welcomed. So he watched. He learned the rhythms of human life, the cycles of work and pause, of light and darkness. He learned the quiet signals of the body when it was ready to let go. As villages grew and people gathered together, Hypnos remained present among them. At night, as fires dimmed and voices lowered, his influence spread naturally. Breathing slowed. Movement eased. Awareness softened. Sleep became a shared experience. In the quiet hours, when the world grew still, Hypnos moved gently through the sleeping mortal realm. He carried no judgment with him. He did not favor one person over another. Sleep belongs to everyone. Those who labored all day found rest waiting for them at night. Those who worried carried their concerns into darkness, only to find them growing lighter as sleep took hold. Hypnos did not erase hardship. He offered relief from its weight. Under his quiet guidance, sleep became a place where mortals could recover. Bodies healed. Minds reset. Strength returned without effort. Dreams, too, began to take shape within the mortal world. They remained gentle, guided carefully so they would not disturb rest. Hypnos ensured that dreaming never overpowered sleep itself. The mortal mind wandered safely, protected by stillness. Even those who resisted rest eventually felt his presence. When exhaustion grew heavy, when the body could no longer hold itself alert, sleep arrived naturally. Hypnos waited for this moment without impatience. He did not punish wakefulness. He did not reward sleep. He simply remained. As time passed, mortals began to notice the rhythm of night more clearly. They learned when to slow down. They learned how darkness signaled safety rather than danger. Under NYX's cover, with Hypnos guiding rest, the night became familiar. Some mortals felt his presence more clearly than others. Not as a voice or vision, but as a sense of calm settling over them. A feeling of being allowed to stop. They did not name him. They did not need to. Sleep did not require explanation. As humanity grew and changed, Hypnos adapted with them. He followed them into cities and homes, into crowded streets and quiet rooms. No place was too noisy, no mind too restless. Sleep found its way everywhere. Hypnos worked carefully with the mortal world, respecting its fragility. He understood how easily rest could be disturbed, how quickly worry could rise. So he moved slowly, allowing each person to find their own way into sleep. He did not bring sudden darkness. He brought gradual quiet. The mortal world responded to this patience. Sleep became woven into daily life, shaping routines and rhythms. Night was no longer empty time. It became restoration. Even in moments of uncertainty, when the world felt heavy and unsettled, Hypnos remained steady. He continued his quiet work, ensuring that rest remained possible. Sleep became a refuge. And even now, long after mortals learn to name the gods, Hypnos remains much the same. He does not seek worship. He does not demand recognition. He is felt in the slowing of breath at night, in the gentle heaviness behind the eyes, in the moment when the mind finally lets go. As you rest here, listening, breathing slowly, you are part of this same ancient rhythm. Hypnos moves quietly through the mortal world still, guiding rest without intrusion. He is present in every night that deepens gently, in every moment when sleep arrives without effort. You do not need to reach for him. Sleep already knows the way. And as the night continues, Hypnos remains patient, unseen, and kind, ensuring that rest continues to find its place within the mortal world. Always. The palace of shadows beyond the paths known to the waking world, beyond the places shaped by light and sound, there exists a quiet dwelling formed from stillness itself. This is the palace of shadows. It is not a palace built to impress or overwhelm. There are no sharp edges here, no towering walls meant to command attention. Instead, the palace rises gently from the surrounding darkness, shaped by calm and time. Shadows rest here, not as absence, but as shelter. The palace does not stand apart from the night. It belongs to it. Darkness flows through its halls naturally, soft and even, never heavy or oppressive. There is no clear entrance. One simply finds themselves within its presence as awareness drifts away from the waking world. Inside, the air is cool and quiet. Each breath feels smooth and steady, as though the space itself is breathing alongside you. The floors do not echo. Footsteps leave no sound. Movement feels unnecessary. Light exists here, but only as a faint glow, diffused and gentle. It reveals shapes without defining them too clearly. Pillars rise slowly from the ground, their surfaces smooth, shaped by centuries of stillness. Nothing here demands attention. The palace does not guide you forward or pull you inward. It allows you to remain exactly where you are, supported by quiet. Hypnos resides within these halls. His presence is woven into the shadows themselves. He does not occupy a throne or command the space. The palace exists as an extension of his nature, calm, patient, and unchanging. Where he rests, the shadows deepen slightly, becoming warmer, more protective. They do not conceal. They soften. Time behaves differently within the palace. Moments stretch and blend together. There is no sense of waiting, no need to measure how long you remain here. The palace exists outside of urgency. Corridors curve gently, leading nowhere in particular. Doors remain open, though there is no need to pass through them. Each space flows into the next, uninterrupted. The silence here is complete, but not empty. It holds a steady presence, like a deep, calm breath that never ends. Within this silence, the mind finds it easy to let go. Thoughts lose their shape before they can fully form. Awareness settles into a smooth, unbroken stillness. NYX's darkness rests comfortably over the palace, ensuring that nothing intrudes. The outside world cannot reach this place. Sounds fade before they arrive. Light dims before it enters. The palace remains untouched. Hypnos does not move quickly here. He does not need to. Everything within these walls already knows how to rest. The shadows themselves seem to respond to the quiet, shifting slowly, never suddenly. Their movement feels like a continuation of breath, in and out, steady and calm. There is no center to the palace. No destination within it. Rest does not require arrival. As you remain here, the body grows heavier, supported fully by stillness. Muscles soften further. Awareness sinks gently, like a stone settling into deep water. Words become distant. Images fade. Listening itself begins to loosen. The palace holds this quiet carefully, allowing sleep to deepen without interruption. Hypnos remains present, unseen but steady, his influence ensuring that rest stays complete and undisturbed. Nothing changes here. Nothing needs to. The Palace of Shadows exists as a constant, a place where the world pauses and sleep remains uninterrupted. And as the night continues, this quiet holds firm, carrying you deeper into stillness, supported gently by the calm, unchanging shadows. Morpheus, shaper of dreams within the deepest layers of night, beyond the stillness of the Palace of Shadows, another presence moves gently through sleep. Morpheus. He does not arrive with sound or spectacle. His presence is felt as a subtle shift, a softening of the quiet, where images begin to form without effort. Morpheus is not a bringer of messages or meaning. He is a shaper, allowing dreams to take form while keeping them light and calm. Where Hypnos brings rest, Morpheus brings gentle movement within that rest. He moves through the sleeping mind like a slow current, never rushing, never disturbing. Dreams take shape around him naturally, as if they have been waiting patiently for his touch. These dreams are not stories to follow. They are impressions. Soft reflections of thought and memory, shaped into gentle forms. Morpheus understands the balance required within sleep. He knows that dreams must never overpower rest. They must remain light, drifting easily, ready to fade at the first sign of wakefulness. Under his careful guidance, images remain calm. A quiet path unfolding through mist. A familiar place bathed in soft light. The sensation of floating without direction. Dreams shaped by Morpheus do not demand attention. They do not surprise or startle. They pass through awareness slowly, leaving no trace behind. Morpheus works with patience. He does not create new worlds. He reshapes what already exists, smoothing sharp edges, dimming bright impressions, allowing the mind to wander safely. Memory becomes gentle here. It no longer carries emotion or weight. It appears only as color, shape, or motion. Under Morpheus' care, the dreaming mind learns how to relax fully. Images form, then dissolve. Scenes shift without transition. Nothing stays long enough to be held. The body remains deeply at rest throughout this process. Breathing stays slow and even. Muscles remain soft and unmoving. Morpheus never pulls the mind upward. He guides it gently across the surface of sleep. NYX's darkness continues to cover everything, ensuring that dreams remain protected within night. Hypnos' presence stays close, anchoring rest beneath all movement. Morpheus works within this balance, respecting the quiet foundation laid by sleep. He does not speak to the dreamer. He does not guide with words. Dreams communicate through sensation alone. A feeling of calm, a sense of ease, a gentle awareness. Without focus. As the night deepens, Morpheus allows dreams to thin. They become simpler, quieter, almost transparent. Eventually, even images begin to fade. This is not an ending. It is a deepening. Morpheus understands when to step back. When the mind no longer needs movement, he releases it into stillness. Dreams give way to dreamless rest, and Morpheus recedes quietly, leaving no trace of his passing. Even now, his influence can be felt when dreams arrive gently and fade without disturbance. When sleep remains deep, unbroken, and calm, Morpheus does not linger where he is not needed. He moves softly, shaping only what is ready to be shaped, and then allowing it to dissolve. As you rest here, your own mind may wander briefly. Images may rise and fall without meaning. Sensations may shift gently. There is no need to follow them. Morpheus ensures they remain kind. Sleep remains the foundation. Dreams remain light. Hypnos watches from beneath, steady and patient. NYX holds the night firm and quiet. Together, they allow rest to deepen naturally. Morpheus fades quietly into the background, his work complete for now. And as the night continues, sleep remains smooth and undisturbed, carrying you gently through stillness, guided softly by the quiet shaper of dreams. Phobiter, the quiet guardian of shadows within the realm of sleep. Not all dreams are bright or clear. Some rise from deeper places, carrying unfamiliar shapes and shifting impressions. Yet even these, when guided with care, need not disturb the peace of rest. This is where Phobiter dwells. He is known as the shaper of darker dreams, yet his true nature is not fear, but balance. Phobiter does not bring chaos into sleep. He ensures that what moves in shadow remains gentle, contained, and harmless. His presence is subtle. It arrives as a deepening of quiet, a soft dimming of inner light where imagination slows and softens. Phobiter does not create terror. He smooths the edges of the unknown, shaping it into something that can pass through the mind without causing disturbance. In his care, even darker impressions remain calm. Dreams shaped by Phobiter are slow and indistinct. They do not form sharp images or sudden movement. Instead, they appear as drifting silhouettes, shadows without weight or intention. They are not meant to be understood. They are meant to pass. Phobiter understands that the mind must sometimes release tension stored beneath awareness. He allows this release to happen safely, without intensity or fear. Under his guidance, these deeper dreams remain quiet. A distant shape moving slowly. A sense of space without direction. A gentle darkness that carries no threat. The body remains deeply at rest while these impressions drift through the mind. Breathing stays slow and steady. Muscles remain relaxed and still. Phobita never allows these dreams to take hold. They do not linger. They do not repeat. They fade as easily as they arrive. NYX's darkness surrounds this process, keeping everything contained within night. Hypnos remains present beneath it all, ensuring that sleep stays deep and uninterrupted. Phobita works carefully within these boundaries. He does not overwhelm the mind. He does not awaken the sleeper. He understands that even shadow must be handled gently. As the night progresses, the influence of Phobita grows lighter. The darker impressions thin and soften until they dissolve completely. What remains is calm. The mind settles again into stillness. Awareness drifts without focus. The brief movement within sleep has passed, leaving no trace behind. Phobita withdraws quietly. His role is complete once balance is restored. He does not seek attention or recognition. He fades naturally into the background of sleep. Dreamless rest returns, smooth and uninterrupted. Even now, when deeper dreams arise and pass without disturbance, it is Phobita's gentle guidance at work. He ensures that nothing within sleep becomes too sharp or too intense. Shadow remains soft here. As you rest, there is no need to concern yourself with dreams of any kind. They move through the mind like slow clouds across a night sky, quiet, distant, and harmless. Sleep remains steady beneath it all. Hypnos continues his gentle work. NYX holds the night secure. Phobita ensures balance within shadow. Together, they maintain the calm rhythm of rest. And as the night deepens further, all movement fades once more into stillness, leaving only quiet, peaceful sleep, undisturbed, complete, and safe. Phantasos, weaver of fantasies within the soft depths of sleep, beyond clear dreams and deeper shadows, there is a gentler realm still, a place where imagination drifts freely, unbound by meaning or form. This is where Phantasos moves. Phantasos does not shape stories. He weaves sensations. He is not concerned with memory or message. His work exists in the quiet space where the mind wanders without direction, creating images that feel pleasant but undefined. Under his influence, sleep becomes lighter, softer, and more fluid. Phantasos enters the sleeping mind like a slow breath, barely noticeable. There is no shift in the body, no change in rhythm. Rest remains deep and secure. Only the texture of awareness changes. Thoughts loosen further. Images become abstract. Sensations blend gently together. Dreams shaped by Phantasos do not follow logic. They appear as colors, movements, and soft impressions, a floating shape, a warm glow, a sense of drifting through open space. There is no beginning and no end. Phantasos understands that the mind does not always need structure. Sometimes, rest deepens best when imagination is allowed to roam freely, without purpose. A landscape may form briefly, wide and quiet, then dissolve into light. A feeling of motion may arise, slow and steady, without direction or destination. Nothing needs to be followed. Nothing needs to be remembered. Phantasos allows the sleeping mind to play gently, without effort. His fantasies carry no emotional weight. They do not excite or disturb. They simply pass through awareness like mist. The body remains still and heavy. Breathing stays slow and even. The muscles remain relaxed. the heartbeat steady and calm. Phantasos never pulls the mind toward wakefulness. His work exists only within the safety of deep rest, supported by Hypnos' steady presence and NYX's protective night. Under this quiet balance, imagination becomes soothing rather than stimulating. Shapes blur into one another. Colors soften and fade. Movement slows until it barely exists. These fantasies are not meant to be held. The moment attention reaches for them, they dissolve naturally, leaving only calm behind. Phantasos encourages this gentle forgetting. He understands that the most restful dreams are those that leave no trace. The mind drifts through them and wakes without memory, carrying only a sense of ease. As the night deepens, the influence of Phantasos grows quieter still. The fantasies thin, becoming simpler, lighter, almost transparent. Eventually, even these soft impressions begin to fade. Imagination rests. What remains is a smooth, uninterrupted stillness, deeper than thought, lighter than sleep itself. Phantasos withdraws without announcement. His work is complete when imagination no longer stirs. Sleep continues on its own, steady and calm. Even now, when you experience moments of drifting awareness, half-formed images, gentle sensations without meaning, Phantasos is present, weaving quietly in the background. He does not guide. He does not lead. He allows. Hypnos remains beneath all movement, anchoring rest. NYX's darkness continues to hold the night gently in place. Together, they create a space where the mind can soften completely. As you rest here, listening, breathing slowly, imagination may wander briefly, then settle again. There is no need to engage with it. Phantasos ensures it remains kind. The night stretches on, wide and patient. Sleep deepens naturally, carrying awareness further inward. And as everything grows quiet once more, imagination fades gently into stillness, leaving only rest, deep, calm, and undisturbed. How dreams reach the sleeping mind. Dreams do not arrive suddenly. They do not rush or interrupt. They move slowly, finding their way into the sleeping mind with care and patience, guided by the quiet rhythm of night. Long before a dream is felt, the mind has already softened. Awareness has turned inward. The body rests deeply, supported by stillness. This is where dreams begin their journey. They do not travel through space. They travel through quiet. As sleep deepens, the boundary between thought and sensation grows thin. The waking mind loosens its grip, and in this gentle opening, dreams find their way in. They arrive not as ideas, but as impressions. A feeling before an image. A movement before a shape. A calm presence before meaning. Dreams are shaped slowly, allowed to settle without effort. They enter the sleeping mind the way a soft breeze enters an open room, unnoticed, natural, and gentle. Hypnos ensures the mind remains receptive, never alert. His influence keeps the foundation of rest steady and deep. NYX's darkness surrounds this process, quieting the outer world so nothing intrudes. Under her watch, the night remains uninterrupted. Within this safe stillness, dreams flow freely. They follow no path. They obey no logic. Instead, they drift along the currents of calm awareness, guided by balance rather than intention. As a dream approaches the mind, It does not demand attention. It waits until awareness is ready to receive it. Only then does it take shape, softly and without urgency. The mind does not reach for the dream. The dream arrives on its own. This is why dreams often feel distant, as though they are happening somewhere just beyond reach. They exist at the edge of awareness, where focus fades and rest deepens. Images form slowly here. They remain incomplete, undefined. Colors blur. Shapes shift without clarity. There is no sharpness, no urgency. Dreams understand that sharpness belongs to waking. In sleep, everything softens. The body remains still as dreams pass through the mind. Breathing stays slow. Muscles remain relaxed. The dream does not disturb the rhythm of rest. It moves gently across awareness, leaving no trace behind. Dreams do not seek meaning. They are not messages to interpret. They are expressions of movement within rest, shaped gently and released easily. As one dream fades, another may drift in, or the mind may return to stillness, resting. Without images at all. Both are natural. Dreams arrive when the mind is open, and they leave when stillness deepens further. Phantasos, Morpheus, and the quiet forces of sleep shape these movements carefully, ensuring that nothing within the dream pulls the sleeper upward toward waking. Phobita ensures that deeper impressions remain calm, softened, and harmless. Together, they guide dreams gently, allowing them to touch the mind without disrupting rest. As the night continues, dreams grow lighter and less frequent. The sleeping mind sinks deeper, where images no longer form. Here, dreams dissolve before they begin. Awareness floats without direction. The mind rests fully, unburdened by movement or form. Even now, as you rest and listen, dreams may approach slowly. They may form briefly, then fade. There is no need to follow them. They will come when they are ready. They will leave when stillness calls them back. Dreams do not need to be held. They do not need to be remembered. They reach the sleeping mind only to pass through it, like soft waves across a calm surface. And beneath it all, sleep remains steady, deep, gentle, and unbroken, carrying the night forward with quiet care. There is nothing else to do. The mind already knows how to receive dreams, and it knows how to let them go. When dreams fade before dawn as the night stretches toward its quiet end, something begins to change. It is not sudden. It is not noticeable at first. The darkness remains, deep and calm, but within it, dreams begin to grow lighter. Their movement slows. Their presence softens. This is the time when dreams fade before dawn. The sleeping mind does not wake all at once. It drifts slowly, guided by a gentle shift in balance. Awareness remains low and heavy, but it begins to loosen from its deepest stillness. Dreams respond to this change naturally. They do not resist. They do not cling. They simply thin, like mist lifting slowly from a quiet landscape. Images lose their shape. Color soften further. Movement becomes slow and indistinct. Dreams no longer form scenes or sensations that hold attention. They pass through the mind like faint echoes, barely touching awareness before dissolving. Hypnos remains present during this transition, steady and patient. He does not pull sleep away. He allows it to change gradually, respecting the body's natural rhythm. NYX's darkness still holds the night, though it begins to feel lighter, less dense. The quiet remains complete, but it carries a subtle openness now. Within this calm, dreams prepare to release their hold. The mind begins to rest without images again. Awareness floats gently, unanchored, free from direction. This space is not quite waking, and not quite dreaming. It is a place of deep calm where nothing is required. The body remains heavy and still. Breathing continues at a slow, steady pace. Muscles stay relaxed, supported by rest. Dreams understand that their time is passing. They fade without urgency. A final image may appear, soft and incomplete, then dissolve before it can be followed. A sensation may rise briefly, then settle into nothing. There is no effort involved. Dreams know how to leave on their own. As dawn approaches, even though light has not yet arrived, the sleeping mind begins to turn outward slightly. Awareness remains low, but it becomes more open, more receptive. Dreams respond by stepping back. Morpheus loosens his shaping. Phantasos allows imagination to settle. Phobita ensures all shadows remain gentle and fade completely. What remains is a smooth, uninterrupted calm. Sleep continues, but it is lighter now. Not fragile, simply prepared to shift when the time comes. The mind rests without movement. There are no images to hold, no sensations to follow. This is one of the deepest forms of rest, quiet without content. The world outside may begin to stir faintly, but it does not reach you. The night still protects this space, holding it gently until waking is ready. Dreams have done their work. They leave behind no messages, no meanings, no memories that demand attention. Only a sense of ease remains. The mind feels clear, unburdened. As dawn draws closer, sleep remains kind. There is no abrupt ending, no sharp transition. Everything continues at its own pace. Awareness floats calmly, supported by breath and stillness. Hypnos remains until the very end, ensuring that rest releases gently, without disruption. And when dreams are gone, sleep itself remains quiet, steady, and complete, carrying the final moments of night forward. There is no need to hold on to anything. Dreams fade because they are meant to, and in their place, calm remains, ready to carry you softly toward waking, whenever the time is right. Even Zeus must sleep high above the mortal world. Beyond the drifting clouds and the slow turning of stars, there is a quiet truth known even among the gods. Even Zeus must sleep. Though he rules the sky and commands thunder, though his voice carries across mountains and seas, there comes a time when even his strength yields to stillness. Night reaches Olympus gently. It does not arrive as a challenge or a command. It settles slowly, softening the sharp edges of power, dimming the brilliance of eternal fire. The air grows calm. The winds rest. Even the halls of the gods grow quiet. Torches burn lower. Voices fade. Movement slows until only stillness remains. Zeus does not resist this moment. He understands, as all beings eventually do, that rest is not weakness. It is balance. The weight of the sky, carried endlessly through waking hours, must be set down, even if only briefly. Thought must loosen. Awareness must soften. Hypnos knows this well. He approaches the king of the gods without fear, without reverence, and without urgency. Sleep does not bow to power, nor does it challenge it. It simply arrives when the time is right. Hypnos moves quietly through the halls of Olympus, his presence felt as a gentle heaviness in the air. Thunder fades into silence. Lightning sleeps within the clouds. Zeus feels the shift. The tension in his shoulders eases. The constant alertness that comes with ruling begins to soften. Even divine awareness grows heavy, ready to rest. There is no struggle. Zeus allows sleep to take him, trusting the ancient rhythm that governs gods and mortals alike. The world does not collapse when he rests. The sky does not fall. Everything continues, steady and calm. Sleep holds even the mightiest gently. As Zeus drifts into rest, Olympus remains protected beneath Nyx's darkness. The night wraps the mountain in quiet, ensuring that nothing disturbs this sacred stillness. The gods understand this rhythm. They do not interrupt it. Even power must pause. In sleep, Zeus does not dream of conquest or command. His rest is deep and simple, free from images or thought. Awareness releases completely, supported by the same calm that carries all beings into stillness. Hypnos remains nearby, patient and watchful, ensuring that rest remains unbroken. He does not linger longer than needed. Sleep does its work on its own. This moment, when even Zeus sleeps, reminds the world of something ancient and true. No being exists outside the rhythm of rest. Not gods. Not mortals. Not the forces that shape the sky and sea. Sleep binds all things together, gently and without exception. As Zeus rests, the balance of the cosmos remains intact. Stars continue their slow movement. Time flows evenly. Nothing demands attention. The night holds everything equally. This is not surrender. It is renewal. When rest is complete, strength will return naturally. Power will rise again without effort. But for now, sleep is enough. Even the ruler of Olympus is carried by this quiet current. Far below, in the mortal world, the same rhythm continues. Bodies rest. Minds soften. Dreams fade and return. The gods and mortals share this common ground, the deep, gentle pull of sleep. Hypnos moves between these worlds without distinction, offering rest freely, without judgment. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness softening, you are part of this ancient truth. If even Zeus can set aside his power and sleep, then there is nothing you need to hold on to. Nothing you need to solve. Nothing you need to control. Sleep is allowed. The night is steady. Rest is safe. And beneath the same quiet sky that carries gods into stillness, you too are held gently, supported by calm, drifting effortlessly into deep, peaceful rest. Hera's quiet request when the night settles gently over Olympus. There are moments when even the gods speak softly. This is one of those moments. Hera, Queen of the Heavens, moves through the quiet halls without sound. Her steps are unhurried, measured, guided by patience rather than purpose. The golden light of day has long faded, replaced by a calm, even darkness that rests easily against marble and stone. She does not seek attention. She does not summon thunder or command the air. Tonight, her request is quiet. Hera understands the weight of watchfulness. She knows the long hours of awareness, the constant presence required to hold balance and order. Even among the gods, Responsibility can grow heavy when it is never set down. So she turns, calmly and without urgency, toward Hypnos. He is already near. He always is, when the night deepens enough. Hypnos does not appear suddenly. His presence is felt as a softening in the space around her, a gentle easing of the air, a sense that nothing needs to be done. Hera does not speak at first. She allows the quiet to stretch, comfortable and unbroken. Silence does not trouble her. It is familiar, trusted. When she does speak, her voice is low and steady. She does not ask for power. She does not ask for favor. She asks only for rest. Not just for herself, but for the world she helps to hold together. For the quiet order that must be renewed night after night. For the calm that allows balance to continue without strain. Hypnos listens. He always does. He does not question the request. He does not weigh it or measure its worth. Rest needs no justification. Sleep is not earned. It is allowed. The space around Hera grows heavier with calm. The constant awareness she carries begins to loosen, just slightly at first. The sharp clarity of thought softens. The edges of concern blur. She does not resist. Hera understands that yielding to rest is not loss. It is restoration. NYX's darkness deepens gently, wrapping the halls in a protective quiet. The outside world grows distant. Olympus itself seems to pause, holding its breath. Hera feels the steady rhythm of sleep beginning its work. Her shoulders ease. Her breath slows. The sense of holding everything together begins to relax. Hypnos does not hurry this moment. He allows it to unfold naturally, layer by layer. Sleep settles first into the body, then into the mind, until even the quiet strength she carries is allowed to rest. There are no dreams here. No images rise. No thoughts wander. Hera's rest is deep and still, untouched by movement or memory. It is the kind of sleep that restores without effort, that renews without interruption. Around her, Olympus remains calm. Nothing stirs. Nothing intrudes. Even the gods understand this pause. The night holds steady. Hypnos remains present just long enough to ensure that rest is complete. Then, quietly, he withdraws, leaving sleep to continue on its own. Hera rests without awareness of time. Moments pass, or perhaps hours. It does not matter. The balance she protects continues effortlessly while she sleeps. Order does not falter. The world remains steady. This is the gift of rest. It allows strength to return without being summoned. When Hera eventually stirs, it is not sudden. Sleep releases her gently, the way it always does. Awareness returns slowly, without demand. She wakes renewed, calm restored, watchfulness returned without strain. The night begins to loosen its hold, though darkness still remains. Hera does not speak of this moment. She does not need to. The quiet request has been answered, as it always is. Below, in the mortal world, the same exchange happens endlessly, quiet requests for rest, answered without words. Bodies soften. Minds release. Sleep arrives. Whether god or mortal, ruler or dreamer, all are held by the same gentle rhythm. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, you too are part of this quiet exchange. You do not need to ask aloud. The night already knows. And sleep, patient and kind, continues its gentle work, restoring balance, easing weight, and carrying everything softly through the darkness. Sleep and the Trojan War. Even in times of great conflict, when the world seems loud and unending, sleep continues its quiet work. The Trojan War was filled with clashing bronze, shouted commands, and the restless movement of armies. Days stretched long beneath the sun, and nights were often tense, heavy with anticipation. Yet even here, amid struggle and uncertainty, sleep remained present. It moved softly through the camps, unseen and patient. As night settled over the plains of Troy, the noise of battle faded into the distance. Fires burned low. Voices softened, then fell silent. Armor lay set aside. Bodies, worn by effort and strain, sought stillness. Sleep arrived without choosing sides. Hypnos did not favor Trojan or Greek. He did not weigh courage or victory. He moved gently through both camps alike, offering rest wherever exhaustion opened the door. Even warriors must sleep. Muscles that had carried shields and spears grew heavy. Hands loosened their grip. Breathing slowed as bodies finally released the tension of the day. Sleep did not erase fear. It eased its weight. Within the quiet hours, the mind found refuge. The sharp edges of battle dulled. Memory softened. Dreams drifted lightly, never lingering long enough to disturb rest. NYX's darkness covered the battlefield evenly, dimming the outlines of tents and walls, softening the land itself. Under her watch, the night became a pause, a brief stillness between moments of action. Even the gods observed this rhythm. Though they watched the war unfold, even they understood that nothing could move forward without rest. Power, strategy, and strength all required renewal. Sleep did not halt the war. It sustained those within it. As Hypnos moved quietly through the night, he ensured that rest remained deep enough to restore, but gentle enough to release before dawn. He did not pull warriors too far from readiness. Sleep remained balanced. Dreams, when they came, were soft and fleeting. Images passed without meaning. There were no commands in them, no prophecies. Only movement, then stillness. The mind rested where it could. As dawn approached, sleep loosened its hold naturally. Bodies stirred slowly. Awareness returned without shock or urgency. The night released the world back to action. But for those quiet hours, rest had been complete. This rhythm repeated night after night, no matter how long the war stretched on. Sleep continued to arrive. It did not resolve conflict. It did not choose outcomes. It simply allowed life to continue, one quiet night at a time. Even amid chaos, sleep created small islands of calm. Within tents and shelters, beneath open skies, warriors lay still, breathing evenly, supported by the same rest that carries all beings into the night. Hypnos remained unseen, his work unnoticed but essential. Without sleep, the war could not continue. Strength would fail. Minds would fracture. Balance would be lost. Rest preserved what waking hours consumed. And so, even during the Trojan War, sleep remained an unseen force, steady, impartial, and kind. It reminded gods and mortals alike that no struggle exists outside the rhythm of rest. As you rest now, listening, breathing slowly, you share this same quiet truth. No matter how heavy the day has been, no matter how loud the world may feel, night still arrives. Sleep still finds its way. And beneath the same calm darkness that once settled over distant battlefields, rest continues its gentle work, easing the body, quieting the mind, and carrying everything softly through the night. When sleep changes destiny, there are moments when the world turns not through action, but through stillness. Moments when what does not happen matters more than what does. This is how sleep has, at times, quietly changed destiny. Not with force, not with command, but by allowing pause. In the stories of gods and mortals, great changes are often attributed to strength or strategy. Yet beneath these visible forces, sleep works quietly, shaping outcomes without being seen. A single night of rest can alter the path of a life. When the mind rests, clarity returns. When the body sleeps, strength renews itself. When awareness loosens, rigid paths soften, and new directions become possible. Hypnos understands this deeply. He does not intervene directly in fate. He does not rewrite what is meant to be. Instead, he creates the space in which destiny can unfold differently. Sleep changes timing. A delayed decision. A missed moment. A pause where action was expected. These small shifts ripple outward, altering events in ways no one notices at first. In the quiet hours, when vigilance fades, plans loosen. Certainty softens. The future opens slightly, allowing possibility to enter. Even the gods respect this influence. They know that sleep can dull aggression, cool ambition, and soften resolve. It can turn sharp intention into calm acceptance. During these pauses, the course of events bends gently. A ruler rests instead of acting. A warrior sleeps instead of advancing. A mind clears instead of insisting. None of this feels dramatic in the moment. Sleep works invisibly. Hypnos does not announce these changes. He does not mark them as important. He allows them to occur naturally, woven into the rhythm of night. Destiny shifts quietly, like water changing course around a stone. Often, no one notices until much later. A choice made differently. A path avoided. An ending softened. Sleep does not control fate. It creates room for it to breathe. Within this space, the rigid edges of destiny relax. Possibility returns. Even tragedy is sometimes eased by sleep. Grief finds moments of rest. Pain loosens its hold. The future, once narrowed, opens again slightly. Sleep does not erase sorrow. It allows healing to begin. NYX's darkness supports this work, protecting the pause from intrusion. Hypnos maintains the stillness long enough for balance to return. Together, they ensure that even the heaviest moments are not carried without rest. When dawn arrives, the world often feels subtly different. Nothing obvious has changed, yet something has shifted. Perspective widens. Strength returns. Clarity emerges. These are the quiet marks of sleep's influence. Destiny continues, but it moves along a gentler curve. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, you are within this same space of quiet possibility. You do not need to solve anything tonight. You do not need to decide. Sleep is already doing its work. By resting, you allow the future to soften. You give tomorrow room to unfold without strain. Hypnos does not guide outcomes. He simply ensures that the pause exists. And within that pause, life often finds a better way forward. Sleep has changed destinies before, silently, patiently, without recognition. It continues to do so now. As the night holds you, calm and steady, remember this quiet truth. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is rest. And in that rest, the path ahead begins to shift, gently, naturally, and without effort. Hypnos promised to the night, before the world learned a rhythm of days and rest, before dreams drifted gently through the minds of gods and mortals, there was a quiet understanding between sleep and night. A promise. Hypnos made this promise not with words spoken aloud, but with presence, patience, and unwavering care. Night came first. Nyx spread her darkness across the cosmos, deep and endless, creating a space where noise could soften and light could rest. Yet darkness alone was not enough. Stillness needed guidance. Rest needed kindness. This is where Hypnos stepped forward. He did not challenge the night or seek to command it. He moved alongside it, quietly, respectfully, understanding its depth and power. His promise was simple. Wherever night falls, sleep will follow. Not as force, not as escape, but as comfort. Hypnos promised that darkness would never be empty. That within every shadow, rest would be waiting patiently, ready to ease the weight carried by waking minds. Nyx listened. She understood the importance of this promise. Night, without rest, could become heavy. Endless darkness could weigh upon the world without relief. Sleep would soften it. So the night opened itself to Hypnos' work. Together, they shaped a balance that has never broken. When night stretches across the sky, Hypnos moves within it quietly. He ensures that darkness remains gentle, never overwhelming. He fills it with calm, allowing minds and bodies to release their hold on the day. This promise is renewed every night. It does not weaken with time. It does not depend on belief. It exists naturally, woven into the rhythm of the world. Even when nights are restless, even when sleep arrives slowly, Hypnos remains patient. He does not abandon the promise. He simply waits until the moment is right. Sleep always arrives eventually. Nyx continues to hold the world in her dark embrace, protecting this process from interruption. She shields the night from excess light and noise, ensuring that rest has the space it needs to grow. Within this shared work, the night becomes more than absence of day. It becomes refuge. For gods, night is the moment when power rests. For mortals, it is when effort ends. For all beings, it is when balance is restored. Hypnos' promise ensures that no one faces the night alone. Even in loneliness, sleep remains present. Even in sorrow, rest offers relief. Even in uncertainty, the night provides pause. This promise does not demand perfection. Some nights are lighter. Some nights are deep. Some nights pass without dreams. All are held equally. Hypnos does not measure the quality of sleep. He honors the attempt. He remains present even when rest feels distant. Because the promise is not about control. It is about trust. Trust that the body knows how to rest. Trust that the mind knows how to release. Trust that night will always bring another chance. As dawn approaches, Hypnos gently loosens his hold. He does not cling to the night. He understands that rest must release as naturally as it arrives. The promise does not bind sleep to darkness forever. It simply ensures that whenever night returns, sleep will follow again. This cycle continues endlessly. Night arrives. Sleep follows. Dawn releases both. And then the rhythm begins again. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness softening, you are held within this ancient promise. You do not need to call for sleep. It has already been promised to you. Wherever night touches the world, Hypnos remains nearby, fulfilling his quiet vow, easing the weight of the day, softening the edges of thought, and guiding everything gently into rest. The night keeps its part. Sleep keeps its part. And you are safe within both. The longest night on earth, there comes a night that feels longer than all others. Not because time has changed, but because the world has slowed enough for stillness to deepen completely. This is the longest night on earth. It does not arrive suddenly. The evening begins as it always does, light fading gently, shadows stretching across familiar places. Yet beneath this ordinary transition, something settles more deeply. The air grows quieter. Movement slows earlier than usual. The world seems to prepare. As darkness spreads, NYX's presence feels fuller, richer, as though the night itself has decided to linger. Stars hold their positions. The moon moves almost imperceptibly. Time loosens its grip. On this night, sound travels less. Even distant noise fades quickly, absorbed by the calm. The land, the seas, and the skies all seem to pause together. Hypnos moves carefully through this deepening stillness. He understands the importance of this night. It is not meant for urgency or change. It exists to allow rest to reach its fullest depth. Across the earth, people settle into sleep earlier, without knowing why. Bodies grow heavy. Eyes close easily. The mind releases with less resistance. Sleep arrives smoothly. This is not a night of intense dreams. Images remain light and fleeting. Many minds slip directly into deep rest, bypassing movement entirely. The longest night is about stillness. In homes and quiet shelters, breathing slows into a steady rhythm. Muscles soften completely. Awareness sinks deeply, held by calm. Hypnos ensures that sleep remains unbroken. There are no sudden awakenings here. No sharp sounds. Even restless minds find themselves easing gently into quiet. NYX holds the world securely, shielding it from disruption. Her darkness is not heavy or cold. It is warm, steady, and patient. The earth responds to this care. Animals rest deeply. Wind slow. Waters move gently, without urgency. Even the land seems to breathe more slowly. The longest night does not belong to any season or place. It exists beyond calendars and clocks. It arrives when the world needs it most. During this night, worries loosen their hold. Grief rests. Tension releases. Sleep becomes restoration rather than escape. Hypnos remains present throughout the long hours, his work steady and unchanging. He does not hurry the night forward. He allows it to stretch naturally. Time feels wide here. Moments blend into one another without distinction. The idea of waiting loses meaning. The night simply is. Within this deep rest, the body heals quietly. The mind resets gently. Balance returns without effort. There is no awareness of this process. It happens beneath consciousness, supported by sleep's steady rhythm. As the longest night continues, even the idea of dawn feels distant. There is no anticipation, no pull toward waking. Only calm. Only rest. Eventually, slowly, patiently, the night begins to release its hold. Not suddenly, and not all at once. A faint openness appears in the darkness. A subtle shift in stillness. Nothing dramatic. Sleep remains deep, but it prepares to lighten. Hypnos senses this change and adjusts gently. He loosens his influence just enough to allow the rhythm to continue naturally. NYX does not rush the dawn. She releases the night carefully, honoring its purpose. When light finally returns, it does so softly, without intrusion. Awareness stirs gently. Bodies remain relaxed, supported by the deep rest they have received. The longest night ends the same way it began, quietly. No one marks it. No one names it. Yet its influence lingers. Strength feels renewed. The mind feels clearer. The world moves forward more gently. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, you are part of this longest night. Time has loosened its hold. Nothing is required of you. Sleep continues its quiet work, steady and kind, carrying you through the deep calm of night, long, unbroken, and full of peace. When insomnia touched the world, there was a time when the night grew restless. It did not happen everywhere at once. It did not arrive loudly. It began quietly, in small moments when sleep hesitated instead of settling, when the mind lingered just a little too close to waking. This was when insomnia first touched the world. Night still arrived as it always had. Darkness spread gently across land and sea. Stars held their places. Yet beneath this familiar calm, something subtle shifted. Sleep did not disappear. It simply paused. People lay still, bodies heavy with tiredness, while the mind remained softly alert. Thoughts drifted without direction. Time felt stretched and uncertain. Hypnos noticed immediately. He sensed the delicate imbalance, not as a failure of night, but as a moment of disruption within the rhythm of rest. Sleep had not been taken away. It had only stepped back slightly. Hypnos did not react with force. He understands that sleep cannot be commanded, especially when the mind is holding on too tightly. Instead, he slowed his own presence, becoming quieter, gentler. NYX deepened the night further, offering protection without pressure. Darkness grew softer, not heavier, allowing space rather than confinement. Insomnia did not arrive as fear. It arrived as waiting. Waiting without urgency. Waiting without intention. The world learned what it felt like to rest without fully sleeping, to float gently in the space between awareness and dreams. For some, this space felt unfamiliar. The mind searched for sleep, trying to pull it closer. But sleep moves best when it is not chased. Hypnos understood this. He remained present, even when sleep hesitated. He did not withdraw. He stayed quietly nearby, ensuring that rest of another kind could still exist. The body continued to rest. Muscles softened. Breathing slowed. The heart remained steady. Even without sleep's deepest layers, restoration still began. Insomnia did not mean the night had failed. It meant the night was asking for patience. Across the world, this gentle wakefulness passed through homes and quiet rooms. People listened to the stillness. They noticed the slow movement of breath. They felt the weight of rest without surrendering completely. Hypnos guided this state carefully. He ensured it remained calm, never sharp or distressing. The mind was allowed to wander softly, without spiraling or urgency. NYX kept the night wide and open, preventing the sense of confinement that can disturb rest. Together, they held the world gently during these moments of wakeful quiet. Insomnia did not last forever. It came and went like a tide, touching some nights lightly, others more deeply. It reminded the world that sleep is not a switch, but a flow. Sometimes the current slows. Sometimes it deepens later than expected. Hypnos taught the night how to respond. Instead of pushing sleep forward, he encouraged acceptance. Instead of darkness pressing inward, NYX allowed it to stretch outward, creating space. In this space, tension loosened. The mind, no longer forced to sleep, began to soften naturally. Thoughts lost their edge. Awareness grew hazy. Often, sleep arrived when it was no longer expected. Without announcement. Without effort. Insomnia, when met with patience, revealed its secret. It was not the absence of rest. It was rest learning how to arrive gently. Even now, when nights feel long and sleep seems distant, Hypnos remains present. He does not abandon those who lie awake. He stays quietly nearby, ensuring that calm remains available. Rest still happens. The body still recovers. The mind still unwinds. Sleep always finds its way eventually. NYX continues to hold the night steady, protecting it from judgment or urgency. Darkness remains a place of safety, not expectation. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, remember this quiet truth: you do not need to force sleep. Even wakeful rest is still rest. Even waiting can be gentle. Hypnos has not left the night. He is patient. And sleep, kind and steady, will arrive in its own time, softly, naturally, exactly when it is ready. Hypnos walks among mortals. When the night settles fully and the world grows quiet, Hypnos does not remain distant. He walks among mortals, not as a figure to be seen or recognized, but as a presence felt, a soft easing of the air, a gentle weight that encourages rest. He moves without sound, without shadow, blending seamlessly into the stillness of night. Hypnos walks slowly. He has no destination to reach, no path to follow. He simply moves where the night deepens enough to welcome him. In small homes and quiet rooms, he pauses. Here, a tired mind releases its grip on the day. There, a restless body finally softens. Hypnos does not hurry these moments. He allows them to unfold naturally. He understands the subtle language of fatigue. He knows when a body needs deep rest. He knows when a mind needs gentle quiet. He knows when sleep must arrive slowly. Hypnos does not judge how long sleep takes. He remains present even when eyes stay open and thoughts linger. His work continues beneath awareness, calming the nervous rhythm of waking life. Across cities and open land, he moves freely. Streetlights dim. Windows glow softly. The hum of the world lowers into a distant murmur. Hypnos passes through all of it, offering the same care everywhere. Sleep does not belong to a single place or people. It belongs to everyone. In the homes of those who worry, Hypnos lingers longer. He softens the edges of anxious thought, allowing them to drift apart rather than collide. In the rooms of those who grieve, he brings quiet rest without dreams. Awareness sinks into stillness where pain can loosen its hold, even if only for a while. Hypnos understands that rest does not always look the same. Sometimes sleep is deep and long. Sometimes it is light and brief. Sometimes it is simply the easing of tension. All are enough. He moves through the night without being noticed, and that is how he prefers it. Sleep works best when it does not announce itself. NYX's darkness supports his path, covering the world evenly so nothing interrupts this quiet movement. The night remains wide and forgiving. Hypnos does not speak to mortals. He does not guide them with words. He communicates through sensation, heaviness, warmth, calm. Breathing slows. Muscles release. Awareness drifts inward. These are his signals. Even those who believe they are alone in the night are not. Hypnos remains nearby, patient and steady. As dawn approaches, he begins to withdraw gently. He does not vanish suddenly. He loosens his presence gradually, ensuring that waking arrives without shock. The night releases its hold. Sleep fades softly. Awareness returns slowly. The world resumes its quiet motion. Hypnos does not stay to witness the morning. His work belongs to the night. But the effects remain. Bodies feel restored. Minds feel lighter. The day begins with more balance. Night after night, Hypnos continues this quiet walk. He does not tire. He does not forget. Every evening, when darkness returns, so does he. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness softening, you are part of this gentle passage. Hypnos has walked past you too. You may not have noticed, but your body knows. And as the night continues, sleep remains close, patient, kind, and steady, guided by the quiet steps of Hypnos as he walks among mortals. The gift of forgetting, there is a gentle gift that arrives with sleep, often unnoticed and rarely named. It is the gift of forgetting. Not forgetting that erases who you are, but forgetting that softens what weighs too heavily on the mind. It is the quiet release of what no longer needs to be held. When night deepens and rest begins its work, memory loosens its grip. Thoughts that circled endlessly during the day begin to fade. Their edges blur. Their urgency dissolves. This is not loss. It is relief. Hypnos understands the importance of this gift. He knows that the mind cannot carry everything forward without rest. Some things must be set down, even if only for the night. Forgetting arrives slowly. First, details fade. Then, emotion softens. Finally, the memory itself drifts into the background. The body rests while this happens. Breathing slows. Muscles soften. Awareness sinks gently, supported by stillness. NYX's darkness creates the space where forgetting can unfold safely. Under her cover, the mind feels free to loosen its hold without fear. This gift does not discriminate. Joyful moments rest alongside difficult ones. Both are allowed to soften. The mind releases its need to replay, to analyze, to hold tightly. Sleep does not judge what should be remembered. It simply offers balance. The gift of forgetting does not remove meaning. It creates distance. It allows perspective to return. What felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What felt urgent becomes distant. What felt heavy becomes lighter. Even pain responds to this quiet work. It does not disappear, but it loosens. Its sharpness fades, allowing rest to continue without interruption. Hypnos does not force forgetting. He allows it to happen naturally, at the pace the mind is ready for. Some nights release more than others. All are enough. This gift protects the sleeper. Without forgetting, the mind would remain locked in repetition, unable to move forward. Sleep creates the pause that allows healing to begin. Dreams play a role here too. They soften memory further, reshaping it into gentle impressions that fade easily. By morning, much of what troubled the night before feels distant, unclear, less demanding. This is the quiet power of rest. Forgetting does not mean forgetting forever. It means remembering later, with less weight. As dawn approaches, the gift completes its work. Awareness begins to return, carrying only what is necessary. The rest remains behind, released into the night. The mind feels clearer. The body feels lighter. The day feels more possible. Hypnos withdraws gently, satisfied that the balance has been restored. NYX releases the night slowly, allowing light to return without disruption. The gift of forgetting lingers even after waking. It can be felt in the ease of movement, the steadiness of breath, the sense that the day does not need to be rushed. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, this gift is already working. You do not need to try to forget. Sleep knows what to release. Thoughts will fade when they are ready. Memories will soften without effort. What needs to remain will remain. The rest will be set down. This is the kindness woven into every night, a quiet offering from sleep to the mind. The gift of forgetting is not something to fear. It is what allows you to wake renewed. And as the night continues, held gently by darkness and rest, this gift unfolds naturally, carrying you deeper into calm, steady sleep. The soft silence. There is a silence that arrives only when the night has fully settled. It is not the absence of sound, but the presence of calm. This is the soft silence. It comes gradually, almost without notice. First, the louder sounds of the world fade. Then the smaller ones soften. What remains is a gentle quiet that feels wide and safe. Soft silence does not demand attention. It simply surrounds. Breathing becomes easier within it. Muscles release more fully. The mind no longer feels the need to follow every thought. Hypnos moves easily through this silence. It is where his work becomes most effortless. Sleep settles deeply when the world grows quiet enough to listen to itself. NYX holds the night steady, ensuring that silence remains unbroken. Darkness absorbs distraction, allowing stillness to expand. In the soft silence, time loses urgency. Moments stretch gently, without pressure. There is no sense of waiting, no need to measure passing seconds. Only rest. The body responds instinctively. Breathing slows into a smooth rhythm. The heartbeat steadies. Tension dissolves without effort. Thoughts drift like distant echoes, barely forming before they fade again. Awareness sinks gently inward, supported by the quiet. The soft silence carries no expectations. It does not require sleep to be immediate or perfect. It simply allows rest to deepen naturally. Even wakefulness becomes calm here. For those whose eyes remain open, the silence offers comfort rather than restlessness. The mind rests in stillness, free from urgency. Hypnos understands this state well. He does not push sleep forward. He allows silence to do the work. Within quiet, sleep always finds its way. Across the world, the soft silence spreads evenly. Cities hush. Land rests. The sea moves quietly. Everything becomes part of the same calm rhythm. This silence is protective. It shields the sleeper from worry and distraction. It creates a space where the mind can let go safely. NYX ensures that nothing intrudes too sharply. The night remains wide and gentle, allowing silence to remain intact. In this quiet, the body repairs itself quietly. The mind resets slowly. Balance returns without effort or awareness. The soft silence does not end abruptly. As dawn approaches, it fades gently, leaving behind a sense of ease. Waking arrives slowly, without disruption. The silence does not disappear entirely. It lingers within the body, carried forward into the day as steadiness and calm. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness softening, you are surrounded by this soft silence. There is nothing you need to do, nothing to think about, nothing to resolve. The quiet is enough. Sleep moves gently within it, steady and kind, carrying you deeper into rest. And as the night continues, the soft silence holds you calm, patient, and unbroken, guiding you effortlessly into peaceful sleep. Sleep beyond time. There is a kind of sleep that does not belong to hours or minutes. It exists beyond clocks, beyond the slow turning of night toward morning. This is sleep beyond time. It arrives when the mind releases its need to measure, and the body settles into rest so deep that awareness loses its sense of sequence. In this sleep, there is no before and after. There is only now. Hypnos understands this state well. It is where his work becomes pure, free from rhythm, free from expectation. Sleep flows without interruption, without awareness of passing moments. NYX prepares the way, stretching the night wide enough to hold this timeless rest. Darkness becomes spacious, not enclosing, allowing consciousness to dissolve gently. Breathing continues, slow and steady, but no longer noticed. The body remains present, yet distant, supported entirely by rest. In sleep beyond time, thoughts do not form. Memory does not stir. Dreams, if they appear at all, drift without narrative, like faint impressions that rise and fade without meaning. This sleep is not empty. It is full of quiet restoration. The body heals here. The nervous system resets. Balance returns at its deepest level. Time, which governs the waking world, loosens its hold completely. There is no awareness of how long sleep has lasted or how much remains. The mind floats freely, unanchored from sequence. Hypnos remains close, maintaining the stillness that allows this state to continue uninterrupted. He does not intervene unless necessary. Sleep sustains itself here. NYX holds the night steady, ensuring that nothing intrudes upon this depth. The world remains distant, muted, held safely beyond awareness. In this sleep, Effort disappears. There is no trying, no waiting, no anticipation. Rest simply is. Even the idea of waking feels abstract, unimportant. The body will wake when it is ready. Until then, time has no claim. This is the sleep that restores completely, the kind that leaves the body feeling renewed, the mind clear, the spirit calm, even if the sleeper cannot recall it afterward. When sleep beyond time eventually loosens its hold, it does so gently. Awareness returns slowly, without urgency. The sense of time reforms gradually, like light returning to a darkened room. There is no jolt, no rush. Only a soft transition back into sequence. Hypnos withdraws quietly, satisfied. NYX begins to release the night, allowing dawn to approach at its own pace. The effects remain. The body feels steady. The mind feels spacious. The day feels less demanding. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, you may be touching this timeless sleep. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to count, nothing to measure. Sleep beyond time does not require attention. It arrives naturally when the mind releases its grip. And as the night continues, held gently by darkness and calm, you are free to drift deeper, beyond clocks, beyond hours, beyond time itself, into quiet, endless rest. The calm of the underworld, beneath the surface of the waking world, far below the movement of wind and wave, there exists a place of deep stillness. This is the calm of the underworld. It is not a place of fear here, not in this quiet hour of night. It is a realm of balance, where noise fades completely and nothing is required to move faster than it wishes. The underworld rests. Its vast halls are hushed, its paths untravealed. Stone and shadow lie in perfect stillness, holding the weight of ages without strain. Hypnos moves easily through this calm. This place understands rest. It does not resist it. The underworld knows how to be still without effort, how to exist without urgency. NYX's darkness reaches even here, softening edges and deepening quiet. There is no sharpness, no coldness, only a steady, grounding calm that settles everything it touches. In the underworld, time slows almost to nothing. Moments stretch wide. Silence grows thick and comforting, like a deep breath held gently. This calm is not empty. It is full of quiet presence. Here, nothing asks to be remembered. Nothing demands attention. Everything simply exists, complete and untroubled. Hypnos pauses often in this place. He listens to the stillness, allowing it to flow outward into the world above. The calm of the underworld supports the calm of sleep, giving it depth and stability. This is where rest becomes absolute. No dreams disturb this space. No thoughts drift through. Awareness dissolves into pure quiet. The underworld teaches the deepest lesson of sleep, that nothing needs to be done. Breathing, slow and steady, continues without awareness. The body remains supported, held by rest that feels ancient and reliable. The calm here is grounding. It draws scattered energy inward. It settles the nervous rhythm of the waking world. It reminds the body how to be still without tension. Hypnos understands that this calm is not meant to be feared. It is meant to restore. NYX ensures that this quiet remains protected, untouched by the noise of surface life. Darkness here is gentle and complete, offering safety rather than isolation. The underworld does not rush toward dawn. It remains steady, patient, allowing rest to unfold fully. When sleep reaches this depth, it feels endless. The mind forgets itself entirely. Identity loosens. Awareness floats, unanchored. This is not loss. It is peace. Eventually, when the body has received what it needs, Hypnos begins to guide awareness upward again, slowly, carefully. The calm does not vanish. It remains within, carried back into lighter sleep, then into waking. The underworld releases its hold without resistance. NYX allows the night to thin gently. Light will return when it is ready. As you rest now, breathing softly, awareness drifting, you may feel this deep calm supporting you. Nothing is expected of you. Nothing needs to change. You are held by stillness older than memory, steadier than thought. The calm of the underworld surrounds you, quiet, grounding, and endlessly patient, guiding you deeper into peaceful, unbroken rest. The night without dreams. There are nights when dreams do not come. No images drift through the mind. No stories unfold. No symbols rise and fall. This is the night without dreams. It is not empty. It is not lacking. It is a night of pure rest. Hypnos understands these nights deeply. He knows when the mind has carried enough, when it needs silence rather than vision. On these nights, sleep arrives like a deep, quiet lake, smooth and undisturbed. NYX spreads her darkness evenly, without texture or contrast. The night feels wide and gentle, offering nothing that pulls awareness forward. Dreams step aside, not because they are unwelcome, but because rest must go deeper than imagery. The mind settles into stillness. Thoughts dissolve before they can form. Awareness drifts downward, supported by slow breathing and relaxed muscles. This sleep feels heavy in the best way. Grounded, secure, complete. Hypnos remains present, maintaining the depth of this dreamless rest. He ensures that nothing intrudes, no sudden thoughts, no sharp sensations. The night becomes a quiet container. Time fades. There is no sense of moving forward. No memory of duration. Only a steady, unbroken calm. The body responds instinctively. Healing deepens. Energy restores. The nervous system resets. This is the sleep that repairs without distraction. The night without dreams does not ask the mind to participate. It allows consciousness to rest entirely. NYX protects this state carefully. Her darkness remains smooth, without interruption, allowing the quiet to stretch naturally. Even sound feels distant here, muffled by stillness. Hypnos understands that dreamless nights are often misunderstood. People may wake believing they did not sleep well because they remember nothing. But this is the deepest rest. Memory does not form because awareness has released completely. Nothing needed to be witnessed. Nothing needed to be remembered. As dawn approaches, this sleep loosens its hold gently. Awareness returns slowly, without urgency. There is no story to recall. Only a sense of steadiness. The body feels heavier and lighter at once, grounded, yet refreshed. The mind feels clear, unburdened. The night without dreams leaves its mark quietly. It strengthens without showing itself. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, you may be entering this dreamless night. There is nothing to look for, nothing to follow, nothing to remember. Sleep is complete without images. Hypnos remains nearby, patient and steady, holding you in this deep calm. NYX keeps the night smooth and protective, ensuring nothing disturbs your rest. And as the quiet continues, you are free to sink fully into this night without dreams, a place of pure stillness, where rest is enough, and peace arrives without form or sound. Dawn always returns, even the deepest night does not last forever. No matter how still, how dark, or how long it feels, the night always carries within it the promise of return. Dawn always returns. It begins quietly, long before it can be seen. A subtle change in the night's texture. A faint softening of darkness. Nothing sudden, nothing sharp. NYX senses this shift first. She does not resist it. She has never feared the morning. Night and dawn are not enemies, they are partners in a rhythm older than memory. Hypnos feels the change as well. His work does not end when dawn approaches. It transforms. He begins to loosen his gentle hold, allowing sleep to lighten without breaking. This transition is slow. Sleep does not vanish at once. It thins gradually, like mist lifting from the ground. Breathing remains deep. Muscles stay relaxed. Awareness stirs gently. Dawn approaches with patience. Light does not rush the world awake. It touches the edges first, the horizon, the sky, the air itself. The night releases its grip carefully, ensuring that rest is complete before waking begins. This is the kindness woven into the cycle. No one is pulled abruptly from sleep. The body wakes when it is ready. Hypnos guides this moment with care. He ensures that waking arrives softly, without shock or urgency. The calm of the night lingers, carried forward into the morning. NYX withdraws slowly, leaving behind a sense of safety rather than absence. The world begins to move again. Birdsong returns gently. Air shifts. Light grows warmer. Yet the calm of the night remains present, woven into the day. This is what dawn offers. Not a sudden beginning, but a continuation. The rest of the night flows into the clarity of morning, carrying balance forward. Dawn always returns because the world needs renewal. Just as sleep restores the body, light restores direction. The two work together. Hypnos does not disappear with the morning. His influence remains within the steadiness of breath, the clarity of thought, the ease of movement. The night's work shows itself in subtle ways. A calmer response, a lighter mind, a steadier body. Even when nights are difficult, dawn still returns. Even when sleep feels incomplete, the morning brings another chance. This is the promise held within the cycle. No state lasts forever. Darkness passes. Rest completes itself. Light arrives. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness softening, you are held within this gentle truth. You do not need to rush toward morning. You do not need to hold on to the night. Both will arrive in their time. Sleep continues its quiet work, steady and kind, preparing the way for dawn. And when the light returns, as it always does, it will find you restored, supported by the calm of night, ready to move forward gently. Dawn always returns. And until it does, rest remains here, patient, protective, and complete. The eternal watch of Hypnos, while the world sleeps and wakes, while night follows day and day returns to night, there is one presence that does not turn away. Hypnos keeps watch, not as a guard standing alert, and not as a ruler commanding rest, but as a constant, gentle awareness that never truly leaves the world. His watch is eternal. It does not depend on time or season. It does not fade with belief or memory. It continues quietly, steady as breathing, patient as night itself. Hypnos does not need to see every sleeper to know they are there. He feels them. He senses the subtle shifts in the rhythm of the world, when rest deepens, when minds resist, when bodies grow heavy with fatigue. He responds without urgency. Where sleep comes easily, he remains light. Where sleep struggles, he stays closer. This is how his watch works. Hypnos does not interfere unless needed. He allows the natural rhythm of rest to unfold, stepping in only to soften edges and ease tension. NYX supports this eternal watch. Her darkness provides the space where Hypnos can move freely, unobserved and uninterrupted. Together, they maintain the balance between activity and rest. The watch never feels heavy. It does not strain or tire. Hypnos does not count nights. He does not measure how much rest has passed or how much remains. He simply remains present. Even during the day, his influence lingers quietly. It can be felt in moments of pause, in brief rests, in the natural pull towards stillness that returns each evening. Sleep is not limited to night alone. Hypnos understands this. Rest exists in quiet moments, in still breaths, in gentle pauses. His watch extends to all of it. When night falls again, his presence deepens. He moves through the darkness, ensuring that rest remains available to all who need it. He listens to the world's fatigue, the long days, the quiet struggles, the unspoken exhaustion. None of it goes unnoticed. Yet Hypnos does not judge. Fatigue is not failure. Wakefulness is not resistance. Everything has its place. The eternal watch is not about control. It is about care. Care that remains even when sleep is difficult. Care that does not withdraw when rest takes time to arrive. Hypnos understands patience better than any god. He knows that sleep cannot be demanded. It must be invited. So he keeps watch, waiting for the moment when the body is ready, when the mind softens enough to release. And when that moment arrives, sleep flows naturally. NYX ensures that the night remains safe for this process. She shields it from intrusion, allowing the watch to continue uninterrupted. As dawn approaches, Hypnos does not leave. He adjusts. His presence becomes lighter, allowing waking to arrive gently. The watch never ends. It shifts with the rhythm of the world. Night to day, day to night. Always present. As you rest now, breathing slowly, awareness drifting, you are within this eternal watch. You do not need to ask for rest. You are already being cared for. Even in moments of wakefulness, Hypnos remains nearby, steady and calm. The night holds you. Sleep supports you. The watch continues. And as the world turns, as light and darkness trade places, Hypnos remains quietly present, endlessly patient, keeping watch so that rest is always possible, whenever it is needed. Falling asleep forever gently, there is a phrase that sounds heavier than it truly is. Falling asleep forever. In the quiet language of Hypnos, it does not mean ending. It means completeness. It is not about disappearance, but about rest so deep, so gentle, that it no longer needs to be named or measured. This sleep does not arrive suddenly. It unfolds slowly, like a long exhale that has been waiting all night. Hypnos approaches this state with the greatest care. He understands the difference between fear and peace, between loss and release. What he offers here is not darkness, but softness without edges. NYX's night surrounds everything evenly, without pressure. There is no pull downward, no sense of falling. Only a gentle settling, as if the world itself is laying something precious down. Breathing becomes effortless. Not slower because it must be, but smoother because it can be. Thoughts no longer drift, they dissolve before they form. Awareness loosens its shape, spreading out instead of narrowing. This is not sleep that traps. It is sleep that opens. Hypnos does not guide the mind away from life. He guides it away from strain. What fades here is not existence, but effort. The body rests without needing to recover. The mind rests without needing to forget. Everything simply is. Time has no meaning here. Not because it has stopped, but because it is no longer needed. Sequence dissolves gently. There is no before or after to consider. Only calm. Fear does not exist in this state. Fear requires contrast, tension, anticipation. None of those survive here. Even identity loosens, not erased, not lost, just set down like a coat no longer needed. Hypnos remains present, not watching closely, but holding the space steady. He does not leave. He does not turn away. NYX holds the night wide and safe, ensuring that nothing intrudes, nothing startles, nothing pulls awareness back too sharply. This is rest without interruption. Not sleep as escape, but sleep as fulfillment. Everything that needed motion has completed it. Everything that needed attention has received it. There is no urgency to return, and no resistance to staying. Yet this state is not final in the way waking minds imagine endings. It is eternal because it is gentle. It contains no struggle, no sharp boundary, no moment of loss. It is simply peace continuing without needing renewal. Hypnos understands that the word forever frightens those who measure life in moments. But here, forever is not long. It is soft. It feels like sinking into warm stillness that does not pull, does not demand, does not close. NYX's darkness here is not deep or heavy. It is luminous in its own way, calm without weight, quiet without emptiness. If there are dreams, they are not stories. They are feelings of ease. If there is awareness, it is not focused. It is spacious. This is the sleep that asks nothing in return. No memory must be kept. No meaning must be found. No future must be imagined. Hypnos does not promise this sleep to everyone, and he does not take anyone to it without readiness. It is not something to reach for. It arrives only when struggle has fully loosened its grip. And when it arrives, it is gentle beyond words. As you rest now, breathing softly, awareness drifting, know this: tonight's sleep is not that sleep. Tonight is for rest, renewal, and return. But knowing that such gentleness exists can quiet the mind. It can soften fear. It can allow sleep to deepen naturally. You are safe in this moment, held by night, supported by rest, watched over by Hypnos. And as the calm continues, you are free to sleep deeply, not forever, but fully, knowing that every kind of rest Hypnos offers is guided by kindness, patience, and peace beyond fear. And now the story slowly comes to rest. The night has done its work. The words have softened. The world has grown quiet once more. If you are still awake, there is nothing more you need to listen for. Sleep can take over from here. And if you are already drifting, then let these final words pass gently around you without needing to be remembered. Here, on this channel, every story is created with one purpose: to bring calm, to slow the mind, and to guide you safely into rest. If these stories bring you peace, if they help you sleep more easily, or make the night feel a little less heavy, you are warmly invited to subscribe. Subscribing simply means this calm will always be waiting for you whenever you return. New sleep stories, ancient myths, quiet voices, and long, gentle nights will be here for you. There is no rush, no pressure, just a soft invitation whenever you are ready. For now, let the sound fade, let the silence grow comfortable, and allow sleep to carry you the rest of the way. Good night. Sleep peacefully, and may Hypnos watch over your rest until we meet again in another quiet story.